Have you ever noticed that nobody in Peppa Pig ever gets older? Peppa is always 4 years old. George is always 2. Their parents never age. Not even a little bit. Seasons change, birthdays happen, but the characters stay the same. Why? What if I told you that everyone in Peppa's world is stuck in a time loop? And the proof is hiding in the episodes. Peppa Pig looks like the most innocent show on TV. A happy family, simple stories, jumping in muddy puddles. But when you pay close attention to the details, it all seems a little weird. Time passes in this world. We see seasons change. We see holidays happen. Christmas comes and goes. Birthdays are celebrated with cake and presents. But the characters never change, ever. And it's not like the show ignores time passing. Peppa talks about things that have happened in the past. Daddy Pig talks about past events. But nobody gets older. Nobody grows. Nobody changes. What if this isn't lazy animation? What if everyone in Peppa's world is trapped in a loop, living the same period over and over, and they have no idea? Let me show you the proof. The teacher who never ages. Let's start with Madame Gazelle. She's Peppa's teacher. But here's the thing. We have old pictures. Pictures of Mummy Pig and Daddy Pig as kids. Guess what? Their teacher back then was Madame Gazelle, the same one teaching Peppa. Take a look at those pictures. She looks identical. Same face, same hair, same everything. Now, some fans say she's a vampire. To be honest with you though, it seems true. But even if she is one, that still doesn't account for all others. Just think, Madame Gazelle taught Peppa's parents 30 years ago. Mummy and Daddy Pig are supposed to look like they are 30 years old. The Grandpa and Granny Pig are supposed to be ancient. But they all look no different than they have looked all those years ago. It is as if time is passing to a point where history is made and pictures are taken. But the people are not moving. They are stuck at a point where they have always been. Birthdays that don't count. Here is where it gets really strange. Birthdays are common occurrences in this world, just like in our world. Peppa has a birthday. George has a birthday. Their friends have birthday parties. Every single time, it is like the birthday boy or girl is growing up. There is cake and gifts and more. However, after Peppa's birthday, where she allegedly turned 5 years old, she turned out to be 4 in the very next episode. George had a birthday celebration for turning 3 years old, but then he turned 2. The animators are not forgetful. The birthday took place, people had fun, then the cycle rewound. Think about how disturbing that is. You have your birthday, you blow out the candles, you open presents, you feel excited about being older, and then it's all undone. You wake up the same age with no memory of the party. The presents vanish, the age never sticks, you're permanently frozen. In one episode, Peppa learns how to whistle. She takes some time to learn this, then she eventually learns. But in some other episodes, she forgets how to whistle. She has to relearn how to whistle, just like when she first learned how to whistle. Characters go to several different locations for several different first times. Inventions are made to forget all that they learned. The season that never ends. The seasons are a big hint. We notice that autumn comes with leaves falling and chilly weather. Winter brings snow and Christmas. There is blossoming in spring. In summer, there are beach outings. A whole year is completed, right? Nope, it happens again. The same autumn with the same exact occurrences, the same pumpkin patch field trip, the same snowy hill, the same beach. And here's the creepy part. Nobody remembers doing it before. Peppa doesn't say, "Remember last Christmas?" or "This is better than last year's beach day." Every seasonal event is brand new to them, even though we've watched them do it multiple times. Look at the Christmas episodes. Same decorations, similar presents, almost the same conversations. It's not tradition, it's repetition. They're living the same Christmas over and over, reset back to December 25th with fresh wonder and zero memory. The calendar loops, the weather follows its pattern, but the people don't have any experience. They're perfect prisoners who don't even know they're trapped. So who is behind this? Who is benefiting from making all of us circle this endless loop? Miss Rabbit's impossible jobs. To hear how the loop continues to function, you simply have to refer to Miss Rabbit. She has every job, and I mean every job. She works in the checkout line. She drives the bus. She pilots the rescue chopper. She runs the museum. She operates the theme park. She sells ice cream. She is everywhere. One person can't accomplish that. Physically impossible. Some people think multiple rabbits are pretending to be Miss Rabbit, sisters working together. But what if it's darker than that? What if Miss Rabbit isn't real? Perhaps she is a simulation, there to keep the world in this loop running. Think about it. In a time loop, you need certain jobs filled to maintain the illusion of society. Stores need workers. Buses need drivers. Emergency services need operators. Miss Rabbit fills every essential role without question, without rest, without ever complaining. She never ages, never gets tired, never has a life outside her endless jobs. But in one episode, even the Queen thanks her for that. Thank her for working hard. But is that not a reward in itself? Maybe that's not really recognition. Maybe it's the Queen acknowledging Miss Rabbit's role in maintaining the system. Maybe this whole event is when Miss Rabbit is rebooted and this whole cycle begins again. The whole rabbit family is suspicious as well. They're everywhere, in every important role. The infrastructure wouldn't function without them. The structure itself is a foundation that holds this feedback loop of reality in place and ensures that no matter how many iterations of this time loop happen, it always unfolds as it is supposed to. The ones who watch. Someone has to watch a loop this large. Someone has to ensure that no one begins to remember. Characters like Mr. Labrador are created for this reason. He appears in several different countries, but he is always watching. In London, he is dressed as one of the guards for the Queen, as he observes that Peppa and her family are touring around London. In New York, he is a tourist himself and is photographing Peppa and her family. In Paris, he is just there in the crowd as he observes. He is not exploring, he is watching. Mr. Labrador could be a monitor. Monitors are people assigned to observe some families and ensure that they remain within programmed patterns. If people in a loop begin to have some memory of past occurrences in a loop, and if people question a lack of changes in a loop, their monitors will report all instances to those controlling the loop, and then changes are made. And the Queen? She appears once in the entire series, but she's the key to everything. She lives in a massive palace with resources nobody else has. She has guards, power, and control. She exists above the loop somehow. Maybe she created it. Maybe something terrible happened to the real world, and the only way to save anyone was to trap them in an eternal loop where they could be happy forever, where children could play forever, where families could love each other forever, protected from whatever nightmare exists beyond their small, safe world. Peppa Pig may well be one of the darkest shows on kids' TV, and nobody noticed. It's not a family going on a journey. It's recording a whole society as they are stuck in a time loop that they can never escape, because they are not even aware that it is occurring. Every happy experience is a repetition that has no end. Every lesson learned is a lesson forgotten and learned again. Every birthday, the birthday that is forgotten and had again. Every Christmas is 1,000 Christmases. There are 1,000 more encounters with those puddles for Peppa to jump in and experience that same happiness she felt when it was first and when it is the millionth. But perhaps that's not such a bad thing either. Perhaps a life of endless bliss is a better fate than that which this cycle is sparing them from. After all, they're not prisoners. They simply live their lives, live and laugh and love their families. Perhaps ignorance really is bliss, but you know all this, which is why you've noticed. The exuberance that is always reserved for knowledge that has yet to arrive. George's inability to ever utter more than one syllable. The repetition of Daddy's blunders. The fact that not a single thing changes. Their world is not one of continuity. Their world is one moment in time that lasts forever. But if this theory has just blown your mind and changes all that you thought you knew, then make sure to hit that subscribe button. And as always, we'll see you all in the next video.